Welcome to Behind the Kingdom with Johnny Gentleman, a podcast about drag kings, things, and everything in between. Talking about the struggles of being a drag performer in a drag queen world. Hey, everybody. This is our new episode of Behind the Kingdom here with Johnny Gentleman. This is our episode, I believe it's 8. I lost count because I'm too busy and I don't know numbers. So
math is hard. Numbers are hard for gays.
It's just too hard. But I'm so excited for these next 2 episodes. These are the next 2 episodes are actually kind of similar to each other. What we're actually going to do is we're going to talk about producer or producing etiquette. And we're going to do it in the 2 perspectives in the form of producer to drag performer, and then another episode where we're going to talk about it through performer to producer. So with that being said, today's episode, we have a very special woman to me, and icon in the LA area. She's taking over the area with her beats and her mixes, and just has always been a icon in the scene. So please give it up for our special guest, my resident DJ, and my sister, Miss Coral Reefer.
Hi. You flatter me. I like to think that I just pop in and supply some stupid gay bullshit to any event.
But that's what makes it so iconic, and that's what makes the vibe. It's very important to have a vibe when it comes to a drag show.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's so important. If you don't have the right DJ, in my head as a producer, if you don't have the right DJ giving the right vibes, it's just gonna be very awkward and weird. And because that's just part of the experience too, right? It's the DJ is also a part of the drag experience. So if you don't have that, it feels weird. I've been in those situations before, and I don't like them.
I am very happy to supply.
Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know your fabulosity that are listening from far, far away, please explain to everybody who you are and what you do in the community, who you used to be, whatever you want.
Yeah. So hi, friends. My name's Coral Reefer. I originally started doing drag in 2019. End of 2018, somewhere around there. Johnny and I actually started close to around the same time.
Yes, we did.
Johnny is still doing drag. I
on the other hand
was like, oh, wow, I think this is just a gateway to growing boobs. So I did that, and I became a DJ.
This is a gateway to growing boobs.
Pandemic may have been really negative for a lot of reasons, but got me on Medi-Cal, okay?
I mean, I can relate to that. Drag, it was a gateway to, hey, I think I hate my boobs.
Oh my God. Art revolving around gender expression helps us explore our gender?
What?
Wow.
That sounds like self-care, I think.
Self-care? Foreign concept.
Foreign. What is that? No, we're supposed to be cisgendered like JB Manson.
Oh my God. And with that, we're moving it back. Getting it back on the rails.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah, nowadays I call myself a lip syncing DJ because will absolutely, if mood strikes me, I will ask to do a number out of phase.
You just did that recently too. If you follow Coral Reefer, you will know that one of the last shows that she DJ'd, she decided to just do Celine Dion, lip sync Celine Dion, and perform a whole number out of
the whole 7.5 minute, all coming back to me now. Look, I need to get use out of my acting degree somehow, okay?
I mean, facts. I
spent too much money on it to let it just collect dust. I should at least pick up 20 singles from an audience, you know?
You know what? Yeah, that makes, yeah, I respect that for sure. I mean, that's what drag is anyways.
A little bit. Yeah, that's what I do. That's who I am.
Yes. But okay, so this episode is about, like I said earlier for everybody else, it's about producer etiquette. So with you
Oh,
today,
I do
yeah,
also do that. That is
you
why
also
we're
are a
that
producer.
is why I'm booked on this specific episode. I do that.
Yes. Yes. Coral has produced multiple shows pre-pandemic and post.
Mhm.
You had your drag karaoke at one point. You
Yep.
did some, I think, didn't you do like Dungeons and Dragons drag like via Twitch? I remember
Yep,
seeing
we
that.
did Dungeons and Dragons over the Panini. Then we did, when we came back right before Redline closed, we did Industry Tuesdays. That was just DJ though. Um, and then I've done a few little here and there. I'm not gonna lie, I prefer being a stage manager. I prefer being a co-producer
Hmm.
because I hate the responsibility of getting butts in seats.
It's a lot. It's a lot of
Yep.
pressure to put
Yep.
on, and it's usually like one person or two people, and it's just like, all right, so we got to figure out a way to bring these people so we can pay our perform.
Literally, I have paid performers out of pocket before,
Same.
you know? It's just one of the things that you have to be prepared to do as a producer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially it's like you want to give everybody a proper pay, like, and for their time and pay them for their time, but sometimes like you don't have that big of a crowd. And sometimes, like, even when we have not that big of a crowd, those people have more energy than the big crowds that
Mm,
we have. You know what I
that's the
mean?
thing. I've performed for really, really big audiences and really, really small audiences, and there's benefits to both. Like, I love an intimate crowd where you can, like, really, exactly, the intimate crowd that's really into it,
Hmm.
as opposed to a sea of people who are all like, oh, did we just stumble into a drag show?
Or like, dance for me so I can tip you.
Oh
Is
my
it
God.
worth it? I hate those people. I hate them. It's just like, well, show me what you got and then I tip you, and it's like, no.
Yeah,
What?
I am.
You do it. You do
I,
it.
I'm showing you right now.
I'm showing you right meow. Like,
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Uh,
See, that's why you just do ballads. So nobody expects you to dance.
you just give theater, and that's all you do.
Yeah, girl. Honey, my three go-tos all coming back to me now. Memory from Cats and a Trans Day of Remembrance number to Lana
Yep.
Del Rey.
Yep. That's Coral's signature three.
Yup, yup.
Yup. So, with that being
But
said, as a producer and as a DJ, because I think
yes.
that's very important in both aspects, is what have been your experiences working with different kinds of drag performers?
Oh my gosh. So first off, the reason why I do this and why because DJs, as a DJ, there are a lot of different paths that I could take, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I love drag.
Yeah.
I love the community that has been created in the drag scene. I love the art and the theater of it. So I will say, with my experience with working with a bunch of different performers, it is vastly positive. Major, most, 99% of it, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm just really excited to be able to sit here, hit play for you, hoot and holler, and support your art.
Yeah.
You know, um, I love getting the opportunity to DJ and produce shows with diverse casts. Um, which is part of why I love working with you so much. I always love getting to work with performers who are underrepresented, who don't have as many opportunities as they maybe should. So yeah, that's the best, the positive. In a weird way, I have found there's an interesting comfort level, like when you it's really interesting, like when you work with like super super new performers,
Mm-hmm.
they're usually like, oh my god, I need to do everything right, like absolutely, yeah, what do how do you need me to label this track, etc., etc. That's usually my big thing, is like, do you label your tracks with your name and your performance order?
Instead of like YouTube to MP.com.
And that's what I mean with the comfortability aspect. like the super experienced performers and the super new performers never do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones in the middle who are like consistently booked
Yeah.
and have made a name for themselves, but aren't like, like local legend status,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yep.
Like, I'm talking about, like, Sasha Colby before she got on Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, like, Amber Crane.
Yep.
Amber Crane. If y'all don't know Amber Crane, go know Amber
No.
Crane.
You need a yeah. Amber Crane is just like a delicious chocolate vegan bar that just melts the stage. Like it just
She,
oozes of
she,
talent and
oh yeah.
elegance. Like
Uh,
it's just
Her stage
eloquent.
presence
Oof.
is unmatched.
Ah.
She is that bitch that can literally walk around in a gown and just deliver a good sync to you
Yep.
and just slowly collect dollar bills into her hand.
Mm-hmm. And then
And
you're like,
you will
uh-huh,
uh,
uh-huh,
uh and you
uh-huh.
will love every millisecond of it.
It is so good.
She
So good.
is, but like, like local, like, I've gotten the chance to work with her, and like at the minimum, because I understand a lot of performers like have their music in a Google Drive or something, and it's already got their name at the beginning of it, which, like, love
Mm-hmm.
that for you. Way to be organized. If you don't have that yet, that's a good idea, and then you can just send it from wherever you are. And then, in the body of the email, like, all right, do this track first, this track second. I'm like, all right, I'll live with it, not the end of the world. But yeah, it's the YouTube to MP, the 12 hours after I asked for the tracks,
Yep.
with in the body of the email, they don't tell me what order they're performing these in.
Oh God, such a pet peeve of mine.
I know, right? I'm literally like, do you want me to read your mind or no? And that's the thing. It is one of those things, like, none of this is malicious. I know that.
Mm,
It
no.
is just one of those, like I said, that's why I said comfortability.
Yeah.
It is very much a one of those little things that people let fall through the cracks.
Yes.
That doesn't have to.
Like, yeah, it definitely is like from a performer, like for me at least, like I've dealt with those people where it's like
Mhm.
they have a name for themselves, but they're not like, like you said, like local legend status, like
Mhm.
kind of thing. And if they are, it's like a section of the city. But it's like, I've gotten tracks the day, like literally as they entered the space. And like, they're like, can I just like airdrop it to you? And I'm like, fine, but like, what's
Right?
happening? Like,
Because, and that's the thing, it's like, as a producer, and a DJ, you're put in a position where it's all like, all right, well, what happens if I say
yeah. Like, are you gonna like blast me on Instagram? Woo.
well,
Like
I mean,
what?
not even like blast me on Instagram, but like, in this exact moment, like, if I sit here and I say no, then like at the end of the day, every single option then falls on you. Okay, well, can you pull something up on Spotify? Can you pull something up on YouTube? Can you
Can you?
and it's like, no, can you do what you were supposed to do as
Yeah.
part of this, like and that's a big thing with drag. We don't do hard contracts,
Yeah.
right? A lot of it is fairly casual, and that's what's cool about the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy working in a easy work environment. I'm down to roll with the punches, you know. I'm down to like if all of a sudden somebody comes up and is all like, "Oh shit, this person's mix is like almost identical to mine. Can I switch my song?" The answer is going to be absolutely. What do you want? Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
So happy to roll with the punches,
Mm-hmm.
but it's when things are specifically asked for and those aren't done.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's all like,
Yeah.
friend, friend.
Friend, all we're asking is for you to send your tracks, like send your tracks on time. And if you're like if you're doing a delay, like let's say like you had work or something happened
Yeah,
and like you can't send it at that time, like just be
communicate.
transparent about it. Be like, hey, sorry I haven't sent my songs. I'm gonna send them now. I will label them rather on the track, or label them, like label the song, like just the title, label it with your name on it, the name of the song,
Yeah,
and then just put, hey, first track, second track, third track, or whatever. Like
yeah.
that's all. As a producer, as a DJ, that is, like, to all of the drag performers listening, that is literally all we that is like the biggest stress we have all the time.
Literally, I'm not even gonna lie. The two, like, it may seem like, oh my god, these bitches are going on and on and on and on about labeling your tracks, but really, the two things, the two biggest, okay, the three, the three main things that producers look at when you are booked for a drag show, in my
Mhm.
mind:
Yes,
one, how easy are you to work with?
bear that.
Meaning, do you, when we ask for photos for the flyer, do you send us photos in a timely manner? Not
Mhm.
meaning like, the second, like, you don't need to respond in 5 seconds.
Mm-mm.
We understand you don't need to be married to your phone,
Yeah,
but, like, if you see we've got read receipts.
very that.
Read receipts.
Mhm.
So are you easy to work with? Meaning, yeah, do you take care of the things that we ask you to take care of pre-show? Do are you show up on time?
That.
And if you are late, are you stage ready? Because I will say, have given people passes if they are like, hey, I am so far behind because XYZ, I had another gig, traffic is worse than, but baby, put me anywhere in that lineup. I will be able to walk in the door and do my number. That is the only way to get past being late.
Yep. Or be like, I've done it before where I've been like, hey, I'm running this amount of time, I'm late. I will
Yeah,
be there around this time, but I'm already mostly beat. Like, all I
yeah,
have to do, I have literally said, all I have to do is put my mustache, my eyebrows, and eyeshadow, and that's it.
yeah.
Like, that's it. Done.
Literal. Yeah, if you can walk in and be ready in under 5 minutes, all right.
Yeah.
And three, you know your fucking words.
Oh my god. Just
Do you know your fucking
word.
words?
Oh, so many.
I will never forget the day went to a drag show and it was Christmas themed, and a queen was doing Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
She didn't know the words.
She got surprised by the bridge of the song. The bridge of the song started playing, and she was like,
What?
"Do you know your words? How you deliver them, how you perform, all of that can be worked on, can grow, that can change. But baby, if you don't know your words, if you don't
That
know your words,
no,
then that
no.
just shows a lack of preparation."
Yeah, and I get it. Like, there's some words, we're humans. There's some words that like we don't know, or like we, like it just like when we practice it, because I have this problem all the time where it's like there's like certain lines of a song that I cannot stick in there,
Okay, yeah.
but like no, like not like the whole song, but it's just like
Yeah.
one or two lines in that song. I can literally like mouth it, read the lyrics over and over and over again, and I'm like, it just doesn't stick. But like I learn how to fake pronounce it, so it looks
Watermelon
like it.
bubblegum,
Watermelon
bitch.
bubblegum. There you go.
Shalaba tuna.
Like if I have an idea of what the vocal
Yeah,
is, then
fake
I
it till you
will
make it.
make it.
But literally, music, the singer should not be singing while your mouth is not moving.
No, that
And I've
no,
seen it too many times.
no.
Um, but that's the thing. That's the thing. We're like to put the positive spin on this. Those
Mhm.
are three really easy things to do. You
Yeah,
know. You
and
know.
also to add on to that, especially is like if you're being booked for something, please promote the event. Promote
Yeah.
the event, please.
Yeah.
Like we're not asking every day. We're not asking for like every hour. Like we're asking, please, once you get the flyer, please promote it on your social media. Like send it to your friends, send it to group like things. It takes 5 minutes. Like, and it's just like copy and paste. I literally send like
Yeah.
the caption to the people, and I'm like, here's the caption. Just copy and paste. There's a flyer. Just go. Like,
And also, friends, it does look good for you too as a
mm-hmm,
performer, because, and this is something that I've especially realized trying to get my DJ career off the ground, is the more people see you're booked, the more people will also want to book you, because there is a sense of like, oh, they're on a roll, other people trust them, I should give them a shot too,
yeah,
and so absolutely, like, promoting events not only helps get everybody paid, but it also looks really good on you, because you're like, hey, look at this booking. Oh my god, I'm getting bookings. Do you want to book me too?
yeah,
Like, you get to do all of that and make that whole fun little theater moment,
mm-hmm,
which it does it. I
yeah.
didn't think it was that important, but it is.
It is very important. Yeah. I didn't think so. Look, I hate social media. Freaking hate it. Hate it. The fact that my drag has to depend on social media really is irritating. But I found a very nice app called Planable where I can just
Oh yeah.
pre-make it. I can just pre-make it, it schedules, and it releases. And you can tag, you can like add collaborators. I'll just say, so you just like schedule the post, and it's like, whoop, there it
Yeah.
is. Like I'm done. Like I don't have to physically do it anymore. Like I can just go on with my day, and it's posted, and it's there. Like
Which, that really is the tea. Like, if you just look at it, like, for me, I really did have to like have a mind switch of like, this isn't me on being on Instagram. This is me doing a job thing real quick. It's only going to take me, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because like, I usually like to do, because I'm also a Twitch streamer, I post my weekly schedule every month or every
which is
week.
hella smart. I love it whenever you do
Yeah,
that. It's great.
I post a monthly schedule at the beginning of the month with all the flyers that I have up to that point. I'm like, here's where you can see me this month,
Mm-hmm.
and also, my available days are anything that's not this. And then the weekly schedule with the flyers for that week. And then you just post some Instagram stories along the way, whenever somebody like, I always love it when people tag me and stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
that's a really easy reshare. That's why I try and tag everybody else, make one
Yep.
person's promo everybody's promo.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in this
This
together.
together. It is like, yeah, it's like because going back to the perspective of being a producer, seeing that Like
Mhm.
when I love it whenever I think of Dapper Plus, I first off all the three things that you said, because like if you're great to work with and you give a very great vibe to everybody else and the whole entire green room, like that's super important, because there's people there, especially if they're new performers and they're new to it, and they're like literally just like panicking, asking certain questions, like screaming in their head, and to
Yep.
have like good vibrations in the workspace, just like a regular workspace. Like if you have good vibes and everybody's welcoming and everybody's nice, everybody is professional, then I want you back. I love it. Like your
Mhm.
enthusiasm, your passion, like that that's what I look for in talent all the time. And
Mhm.
like your selflessness of being like, "Hey, like I really had a fun time at your show. I would love to promote it to my other friends." Like or like be like, "Hey, it like my friend wants to do drag, like is it okay if like I forward them to you?" And it's like I
Yes.
love that, because not only as as a performer, as a producer, I'm like I made a safe space. It's validation, and it's also
Mhm.
like those people, like I will pick those people over like performers in the scene that have been here for years but they got an ego and they're like very self-absorbed. Like I don't
Yeah,
want that vibe in my shows.
the
No.
ones who send you the YouTube to MP3 at the day of the show.
Or
Yeah.
like cancel like the day of or the day before. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, no, if you do that, I will give you, I'm a very forgiving person. If you do that like more than 2 3 times, like you just don't expect to be booked here. Like, or
Yeah.
if you're just disrespectful to the community or to other producers, because us producers, we know each other, we talk. If you're having a bad experience in one show, that's going to go to another show and that's going to be told, because a producer doesn't want to work with talent that makes problems with other people.
Mhm.
So, just be mindful, be professional all the time, and just like be a kind, humble person,
Yeah.
because that's how you get success, honestly. Like,
Humility really is it really is tea, because like, and then that's the biggest thing that I think folks that get famous have, that at least in smaller, community famous, right? I'm not talking about Hollywood stars or whatever, but
yeah,
they have that combination of, because you need an ego to survive.
yes.
Okay. If you don't have an ego, like your ego is a sense of self confidence, right? So
Hmm.
you do need a level of ego, but it needs to be tempered with that, like, yeah, I am the shit, but not at the detriment of other people.
Yeah, very that. Yeah, very like I will take a person with an ego that's like, "Hey, I've done this for a while.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I've done this for a while. Like I want to be a part of your show, but I will not. This is my base rate."
Yeah,
Great. Fantastic. You deserve that. You deserve that. Like just don't be a dick about it where it's just like, "Oh,
yeah.
well, you can't afford me."
Bitch,
No.
yeah, honey, have your boundaries. Set your
Mm-mm.
boundaries. Keep your
No.
boundaries. 100%. If you, yeah,
No. No, because at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm paying you.
yeah,
You can say yes, you can say no.
yeah,
I will just
and
go
that's
on to the next performer that might
totally
be better than
fine.
you. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Like,
Or maybe not.
or
Bitch,
maybe
maybe you
not.
are completely worth that rate. And God bless.
Great.
And I love that for you. I hope you get those bookings.
Yeah, and trust me, I've had people where they're like, "Oh, why didn't you book this performer? Why didn't you book that performer?" And I'm like, "Because I don't have the budget to afford them right now."
And that's okay.
That's literally it. And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And I'm like, "It's not because I don't want them. It's because I can't afford them right now." And like if I if I do the risk of being like, "Hey, I'm going to book this person."
That
I
means that I need to get 40 fucking people in this venue.
exactly. Like so it's just so much stress, and like it's just so much like pressure that we have to be put on a producer level, because majority of the time the sales at the door are don't go to us. They just go to paying the performers, paying the crew. And most of the time, sometimes we don't even get paid.
Yeah.
And and it's like, oh well, why don't you pay yourself? It's like, because I want to make sure everybody gets paid before me, and at the same time, like, I can only do so much. I like by promoting on my side. Like, it's why I encourage everybody else to promote and to invite
Mhm.
friends and to post wherever needed. It's because, like, it's not for me to think about how much money I'm going to get. It's because I want to pay everybody a great amount and be able to pay everybody and not have to worry about, oh, let me pay them on my next paycheck. And at the same time, like, I cry if I get $50 out of a Dapper Push show. I'm like,
Yeah.
I freaking made it. I did it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, but you know because unfortunately, especially for Dapper Plus, at least in my experience doing drag king shows, we have a lesser opportunity to get we don't get budgets the majority of the time,
Hmm.
and we're not encouraged or helped by our venues to get a sponsorship to help us pay for our performers. You know,
And
it's so much. Okay, so we've talked a lot about pre-show stuff, experiences working with different kinds of artists in the drag world. So now, for people out there that want to be producers or anything like that, I think it's very important that we talk about the red flags and the green flags,
mm,
as far as when it comes to working with performers. So for
yeah.
you, what is some green flags and red flags when it comes to like booking a performer?
So I definitely think, like, let's sandwich it. Let's sandwich it. All right. We're gonna start with the green. We're gonna go back and forth. So green flag.
Hmm.
Big green flag is, like we were saying, somebody who is just really positive to work with, somebody who every time you hear they're on the schedule, you're all like, oh yay, I get to work with so and so again.
Hmm.
Any of those people. And honestly, it doesn't take a lot to be that kind of person. It literally is just showing up, saying hi, greeting folks, introducing yourself to new folks that you don't know. And that just makes helps make people feel comfortable, giving a good little smile. If, like Johnny said, if there's a nervous performer, somebody who's new, like, just being like, oh no, you're gonna do great, like it's gonna be awesome, like we're gonna have a great show, we're here to do drag, we're here to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, somebody who's there for the spirit of it, right?
Hmm.
On the flip side of that is somebody who makes everything uh your problem.
Mm.
Like, clarification questions are totally fine,
Hmm.
but I remember a specific situation where a performer shouldn't have taken a gig. It was known as a tip spot. It was given as a tip spot, and they spent a lot of money getting there, and then freaked out when they didn't make a bunch of money, and freaked out at the producer,
Yep.
you know so it really is like we said, you can say no.
Yep.
If things aren't going well for you at the moment, if you're not in the right headspace to be the kind of person that other people want to work with, you can say, hey, you know what, I'm just not able to do this right now.
Hmm.
you know try and figure that out before the day of the show.
Yes. You know what? No, like I would have, because I know this event. I know what you're talking about because it was my show.
Yep.
We had to
Yep.
deal with it, and honestly, if I didn't have Coral, And shout out to Vic. Like, I don't know what would have happened that day because that day was just a disaster for
It was
me.
a lot.
It was a lot, but just exactly what you said. Like, and I even went back on the conversation and then got to look at the receipts to see if, like, oh, did I do bad? Like, as a producer, like, did I do bad? And it's like, no, I made it obvious. I made it very clear. This is a tip spot. Like, please have you would have to provide your own transportation as per usual. Just kind of like the basic things, like it's a tip spot, this is the call time. Like if you have any
And if I remember
questions.
correctly, it was a tip spot because this was a second chance, right?
No, like this was a tip spot because
Oh, okay.
usually what I do is like, because I get a lot of new performers or performers that I
Mm.
haven't worked with, message me being like, "Hey, can I be booked for your show?"
And
And
you're like, let's do a little test, a little
yeah,
trial.
let's do a little test. Like, because that's what I do. I'm like, I don't purpose. I tell people, I'm like, there's always a tip spot in each show. If you have never done drag, or like I get it. Like I used to live in the Inland Empire, and then I went to LA. I took tip
Mm-hmm.
spots because I was like, you don't know who I am. I'm just, it's kind of like an audition. See how you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see your vibe, and the next one, like if we vibe well and it works well, like I would like to book you for a booked position.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to be as transparent as everything with details. And so this occasion was, hey, like they had been hitting me up on my DMs. They wanted to audition for The Last Gentleman, but there was like a conflict and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, I've been like, because I had kind of seen their, like, it was very much like, hey, I see your art, I really would love to see it in person. Like, like, I if you're interested in tip spot, just let me know.
Yeah.
So it's like all
The,
of us in the drag world, we all have mental health issues. If you're not feeling well, if I would have taken an hour before the show where it was like, hey, I'm not feeling well, like I can't do this, and I'm like,
yeah.
work, great.
Yeah. My mental health has suddenly taken a total nosedive, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to get to represent myself the way I want to represent myself.
Exactly, yeah.
That is one of those things where absolutely it's like communication, transparency. Like I said earlier, we're down to roll with the punches. That's what's great about drag,
Mm-hmm.
is that it is flexible. It is somewhat casual,
Yeah.
but yeah, like, the green flag is somebody who takes really good care of themselves and is therefore able to help take care of the community as well,
Mm-hmm.
because they've got that energy. The red flag flip side of it is somebody who doesn't take care of themselves and comes in and is taking a lot of energy from
Yeah.
that community instead of providing energy. And that's not, coming in and being nervous about your new performance, or like, oh, I haven't done this number before, I don't like that's all,
That's
fine and good.
normal.
But but yeah, if you are not mentally up for it, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Mm.
You know? And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. If this becomes a consistent issue, then that means that that's something that you probably will need to figure out for yourself for the future. But like, absolutely on a one off, on a, hey, I just can't do this today. That is 10 times better than going and, like I said, making it everybody else's issue.
Issue. Yeah.
Um, so that, yeah. Uh, Another green flag. Um, this is actually something that I've been thinking about for a long time, because I've seen it all the time. Green flag, one of my telltale signs of performer with experience is respecting the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned Amber Crane earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amber Crane, that money does not touch the floor.
Mm-mm.
Unless it is purposeful, like, she's using it as a prop or what have you. The red flag, which I wouldn't necessarily call it a red flag, more of like a pink flag, an
Mm-hmm.
orange flag, a
Yeah.
sign of inexperience is when performers leave their dollar bills Hansel and Gretel around the bar.
Oh, God. That makes it
Where
so difficult for the tip runner.
it not only is it like, I won't, yeah, difficult and like not disrespectful to the tip runner, but it does like make their job harder. But
Mm.
also like when you collect a dollar bill and that dollar bill passes through your hand and immediately on the floor next to the person who tipped it, that just like that person handed you their hard-earned money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gift to you, you
Yes.
know?
I appreciate you. Here you go. I appreciate
Yeah.
your art. Yeah.
And that's where I see it as a sign of inexperience,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of newer drag performers are like, oh yeah, everybody's here for us, right? Everybody's here to see me. But then the ones that really know, they're all like, no, bitch, I am here to provide an experience for an audience.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, you
Yeah.
know?
It's at the end of the day, producing a show is business. It
Yeah.
is a an exchange of entertainment. This show is entertainment
Mm-hmm.
for the audience. And so we would, yes, we ask you to help us with this experience by bringing different types of people, whether they're straight, whether they're a family, whether they're this, whether that, like, or maybe they've never seen drags, or in my case, never seen a drag king. Then, like, bring them in. Like, we want to make it inclusive for everybody, for it to be a fun experience so they can come back and enjoy it, and tell their friends about it and be like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is so magical. Like, that is why they're here. So when
Mm-hmm.
you disrespect them by getting your dollar from them, and I understand it if you're doing it in like a comedic, like campy way,
Oh yeah, like
that makes sense. But
if
like
you yeah if you use their dollar, if like everybody wants their dollar bill to be on Sasha Colby's tit.
very that, very that,
everybody wants
everyone.
everybody wants to take that picture, take that video, and be like, that's my dollar on her left nipple.
That's my dollar bill. There it is.
Yup. Everybody, like, yeah, you play with the dollar bill, you do something with it,
Mm-hmm.
but don't just take it, throw it on the ground, and then keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
like,
You can't do that, because, like, at the end of the day, this is a safe space for everybody, and that includes the audience. And they are here because they feel safe, because they feel like this is a place where they can be themselves.
mm-hmm.
So the best you can do is provide them with a great performance, a great attitude, a great
Right?
vibration, and,
Yeah,
like, just like, you're there to entertain. So their dollar bills at the end of the day are the reason why you're here. They're the reason why you're going to get paid today. So please respect the audience members, like,
yeah.
with so much respect. Consent also, like,
Oh yeah.
consensual activity with audience members is very important for sure.
Which thankfully, the majority of shows nowadays that I go to usually do a good little spiel at the beginning. Like, my personal spiel is one rule, two suggestions. The
Mm-hmm.
rule is consent. The suggestions are energy and tipping, and so the most folks do a good consent check. And I'm I'm proud of the community because that has been a fairly immediate change.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the conversation started, it really was taken very seriously. And I think both performers and audience members really appreciate it. They helps everybody feel respected and safe. And yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely, well, yeah, the biggest massive red flag
Mm-hmm.
going out of our pattern here of green, red is folks who don't respect that's
Yeah.
just immediate. That's not okay.
Yeah.
um
Consent towards audience members, cast members, bartenders,
mhm.
whoever is around, honestly. Like please, consensual consent is very important.
Yeah,
And I will not book you if you don't respect anybody's boundaries. It's just
yeah,
that's just a fact. So
which that's never come into play before.
mm-mm. Not as the
Like,
boy. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like which, so it's one of those things that it's like we're saying it because we're on a podcast and we're like going over everything.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I think the majority of what we're saying, it really does boil down to we're here for a reason, and that is to experience queer art, queer joy, to celebrate each other. The biggest green flag that I have when working with a performer is somebody who just really loves,
Yes.
who
Oh my god.
the drag performers who watch other people's performances, the drag performers who, like I always say, the economy is just $1 bill passed around to 75 different queer people, you
That's so
know?
facts. It's so facts.
It really is,
Really.
like, the performers who are on the side hooting and hollering for their fellow performers, the ones um, yeah, like take the Instagram videos and just really love being there and being
Mhm.
part of the experience of
Yeah.
drag, you
Yep.
know, helping create that vibe. We're really lucky to do what we do.
Yeah. And we're very lucky, especially both of us, I feel like, because we've worked so hard the past couple years just to be who we are.
Mhm.
Now even then, like both of us are very much those people, like since the beginning have been the people that like will go watch the other performances, and like we're the loudest ones in the room sometimes because we're like, yes, ah!
Me, the loudest bitch in the room? What?
What?
Never.
But it's like, at the end of the day, like I think the most important thing is like producers appreciate people that are passionately have a desire to do drag or just love the art of drag. Like
Yep.
it really means a lot when I'm working with a person, the artist that you put, and I just want to be there. And
Yeah.
like it's just so warming because especially in this world of RuPaul's Drag Race that a lot of people start doing drag because they want to get on TV. It's like that's not a genuine reason why to do drag. Like we do drag because a majority of us do drag because it helps us therapeutically. It helps us to express ourselves as artists. It
It
helps us
helps us realize that we should be on estrogen.
or testosterone and get top surgery. Like it's a healing
Yeah.
space. It's a very like community loving healing space that is
Yeah.
very sacred to a lot of us. And so when you just like kind of be a douche about it or just kind of shit on it, like we don't appreciate
When
that.
when it's obvious that you're like kind of treating it as like a stepping stone,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Like oh, I'm only doing drag so it helps my acting career or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, that
Yes, it's very much an LA thing. So anybody listening that's not in LA, this is
Yeah.
this is just our experience from an LA perspective.
And and all of this doesn't mean that drag has to be your full-time thing.
Mm-mm.
Like people, I feel like a lot of people who do drag as a hobby have such a love for drag, and honestly part of the reason is because they do it as a hobby.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten bogged down by the like, god, I need to pay my rent by getting in drag this month. So if you are a professional and you are trying to go professional, make sure that you keep that love. That's
Yeah.
always the difficulty when trying to turn art into a business, because we
Mm-hmm.
always start the art because we love it, and then capitalism does what capitalism does.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's very much, I 100% agree with that, because I think at least in my experience, like when you start to go towards the quote unquote more professional gigs and start working with more bigger names and stuff like that, it gets a little, you kind of get to see the differences of like how people have lost their passion for it a little bit, or you just
Or
kind of,
conversely, the way that they've maintained it.
yeah, or they how they maintained it. And it's just and what I have seen is the people that genuinely like just still have that energy and that like freshness for drag is the people that remind themselves all the time, like, remember why you started doing drag.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it. Just do something that makes you feel something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do something that not other people want you to do, but just do it because like you want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be one look all the time. You can experiment with whatever looks you want, different musics, different genres, different drag styles. That's the purpose of it all. So,
Yeah.
when you like, when me as a producer, when I see that on other people, it really makes me so excited to work with them, because it's like, what am I gonna get for this show that I booked
Mhm.
them? And then they're like, I'm so excited, like, let's have some fun. And then it's just like, it's just a good time at the end of the day. And so like, that for me is why, like, the people that I book, at least on my perspective as a producer, is like, the people I book genuinely, I book them because not only are they super talented, but they have such a big passion and love for the artistry that they're just here to just do it.
Yeah.
And it's and that's very contagious. It's like everybody just ends up wanting to do that throughout the rest of the show, and then it goes to the audience, and then they're just like, it just starts going around, and
Yeah.
it's so fun.
Literally, I'm sure you've heard it time and time again. Everybody has. The more fun that you have, the more fun we will have
Yep.
as an audience.
Yeah.
you know
And that's
which also,
very
we
facts.
mentioned bigger jobs. Another just super quick thing, babes, if you want to get big jobs, you need to learn how to make an invoice. I'm letting
That's
you
very
know.
true. That's,
If you
yeah.
want those corporate gigs, you need to get familiar with one of those online invoice generators, and it's not that hard. It's an easy peasy Google, but
It's very easy, yes.
but that can't be super for
And you can literally go on YouTube and figure it out. It's
so
very
easy.
easy to do.
So
Or
easy.
DM one of us, because we have done it too many times.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, my friend's show recently got sponsored. And, they're like, okay, great. We're going to be doing checks now. And,
Hmm.
yeah. So that's the thing. If you want to be cut a check and not just have a random, well, you're going to have to learn how to do an invoice.
Do an invoice, everyone.
And usually the checks are worth more.
Yes, that's very true. Because then you don't have to wait for it either. Because sometimes you have to wait for it, and I don't like those. I hate
Yeah.
them. All right, so
But
we have one last question
yes,
before we end this episode. But I just want to thank you for your time today and just being a part of
absolutely.
this episode, because I think this is going to be very helpful for not only new performers, but for performers out there that don't understand the hardships that producers have to go through on a daily basis, especially ones that are like, this producer's always bugging me and blah blah blah. I think it's just very important to like have both sides of this of the conversation,
Yep.
because at the end of the day, we need to see each other's perspectives and
Yeah.
learn from one another so we can have not only a better work environment but have a better communication as far as uh, producer and performer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
100%.
yeah. So our last question is going to be: do you have any advice for anybody who wishes to produce a drag show or who don't know what to expect from working with drag performers?
Yes. So, biggest advice for producer is whatever venue you're going to be at, make sure that the terms of your contract, make sure your terms with your venue are very, very, very clear. First and foremost, are you getting a budget? Are you getting a percentage of sales? Are you not getting a cut of anything and you need to, all of your revenue is based off of ticket sales? Or a thing that I'm starting to ask my venues is, are you trying to bring in a new audience, or do you have an existing audience that needs entertainment? That's a
Mm,
big one.
that's a good one.
Um, if you're trying to bring in a new audience, baby, try to get a marketing budget.
Smart.
So that's on the venue side.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of producers, especially a lot of new producers, because I know when I started out, I was like, I'm not one of those people that waits for opportunities, like
Mm-hmm.
that was the vibe. And baby, the opportunities I made weren't very good
They weren't. No. Oh,
because I didn't have standards. I just said yes. I was all like, thanks. You threw me a bone. You're providing something just as much as they're providing something for you.
yeah.
Okay. There's a two-way street there.
It's a two-way street always. Yeah.
Which, that being said, if they spend money on you and they don't get that return on investment, don't be shocked when you have a conversation later. So that's on the bar venue. Find out if you're getting drink tickets.
Yeah. That too. Or
Um,
meal tickets.
or meal.
Something.
Oh my God, if the place has a kitchen, because literally, I'm not even going to lie. I've 100% DJ'd shows where I'm like, honey, part of my pay is this good dinner. I'm not, yeah, straight up. So then with the working with drag performers, if you're new with working with drag performers, really lean on the community. If you've booked one performer that you're this person and I know I love them, they're really fantastic, feel free to ask them if they've got recommendations or suggestions.
Her. Yeah.
Folks that, like, the number of people that I have gotten booked in other places simply because I'm like, you would fit really well in this environment. This is a show that is very for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Word of mouth is everything. Lean on that community. What to expect? Drag performers are busy.
Mm-hmm.
They're juggling a lot of things. They're juggling their art. A lot of them have other, day jobs or are going to school or something along the lines. For a lot of people, this is a hobby, a side gig, and that's totally fine. So definitely expect a little bit of wait time on
Mm-hmm.
on communication, but don't expect a complete lack of communication.
Yeah.
And an expectation that you should have. Well, and this is also something that you provide as a producer is you really do kind of set the tone
Mm-hmm.
for the whole event. So, you know, be excited, to participate in drag. Like we were saying, this whole episode is about how fun drag is, right? But then, be excited but clear.
Mm-hmm.
Um everybody, not just drag performers, everybody loves people who have their ish together.
Yep. That's very true.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, I
So,
agree completely to all this. I think also, from the perspective as far as because I know there are producers that aren't involved in drag or the drag world.
mhm.
Um, So I think to add on to that, I would love to say for producers out there that want to book drag talent, um, please be considerate of time,
Mm,
as far as what you expect from them. I understand if you have like a 10-minute spot that you're trying to fill and you want to just fill it up with one drag performer, um, just make sure that if you want that, to ask that, if they're okay with that. Because of the factor that, um, you know, people think that drag performers can perform for 10, 15, 30 minutes, uh, as one number. And it's very heavy on the body. It is very heavy. We don't have medical insurance.
nope.
Are not part of a union. So, and especially if you're like, I want it specifically this, I want it specifically that. We understand you are you're the producer, but we ask that you give us time, that you let us know in advance, be transparent about it,
Hmm.
and and also make sure to do that for you. I think it's very important that if you want all as a producer, if you have standards, be prepared to pay for the standards.
Yeah,
Um,
because that's the
so
thing. I know drag performers who are ready, who do have that 10-minute mega mix, but exactly, they're not doing it at the gig where they're only getting $50,
yeah.
or $75. They're doing
Mhm.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
A-
absolutely.
and I think if you're especially be accommodating to the pay of the performers as well. If it's for a private event or something, don't offer what, like you said, the $50 that they'll get at a local bar or whatever. First off, that pay in general needs to be stopped. And the factor, big shout out to that bearded queen up in New York who just
Mm,
did a whole who just splurted about how they're stressing out in New York in the drag scene, getting paid $150 for two numbers. Um, that for me, here in LA, that is
a
ridiculously
very good
huge.
night. Yeah.
That is a very good night. If I make $150 one night, I am so happy. But the factor that that's their minimum pay for a drag performance, when they get like, they'll be paid. I think my friend was like, I've been maximum paid like $300 before, including tips, and they've done tips where they made like $900. And
Damn.
like, it's the factor that that is a stress for them, just shows that the LA drags community and LA in general is lowballing the entertainment and entertainers here in the city, because they're willing to drop all the money for the Rue Girls, but then they're like, "Oh, I don't have money space for you." And it's like, well, if you're willing to drop that, then you're willing to drop money for. So just be considerate and equal pay all of your performers. That's very important. If you can't and you're running short on money as a producer, be transparent with everybody. As long as you're giving communication cues to your performers, please just let them know, hey, we didn't make a lot, so I'm just waiting for this paycheck to pay you guys. I'm so sorry. Just be transparent about it, be
Hmm.
honest. And if possible, if you can pay performers within the next 5 days after the gig, then please do that. That's very important.
Yeah.
Drag performers really rely on that money for whether it's rent or just to put gas in their car.
Yep.
So please be considerate of when you pay your performers. Please, I hate when producers pay me like a week or 2 weeks after, if they haven't expressed it already.
Yeah, that's yeah, if they, I've had producers say, "Hey, just to be transparent. Last time it took us a while because, like I'm working with a group that is producing from Australia,
Yeah.
So they're all like, we've got we've got to, get the payout from the ticket sales and the blah, 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 and the blah, 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 blahs, at least a week. But they said that up front. I knew that a
Mm-hmm.
month prior to the gig,
Yeah.
and that's great. That works. But,
Mm-hmm.
communication is key
Yeah.
for everybody on both sides of the coin. Communication is everything.
It is the way to succeed, especially in drag, I feel like, or any kind of entertainment, to be honest. Like,
On any kind of industry and in life,
yeah,
communication is key.
it's very that, very that.
You know?
Yeah, but oh my god. Well, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much, Coral Reefer, for being a part of this
Thank you,
episode.
Johnny.
Yes. Do you want to tag? Why did I say tag? Do you want to plug
Yeah.
anything as far as what you're up to? Your Twitch, anything like that?
Yeah, well, so yeah, like you said, I'm on Twitch. My Twitch is twitch.tv/queer venture time. So I don't do any DJing on that channel. That's all gaming and chatting content. We play a lot of fun stuff. I am a variety streamer, so different games every day. Then I do have a DJ channel, which I'm planning to get back up and running after I move, and have a better setup. So that one's twitch.tv/DJ Coral Reefer. I am moving to Seattle November. I know. I'm so sad. It's bittersweet. So if you're watching this, listening to this, and you're in the Seattle area and you need a DJ, I'll be there in November.
Book this queen.
And then, I don't know. Instagram, Ms. Coral Reefer, Twitter @Q Venture Time. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you, and you already know this, but I wouldn't be able to make a Dapper Puss. Dapper Puss wouldn't be the same without you. So, I couldn't have done it without you, and so I thank you right now publicly in front of everybody. And
I'm so very happy to have been but a small part of this experience because let's be real, I just show up and provide some vibes and music most of the time.
yeah, but those vibes, honestly, like have made my horrible morning so much better. Like it is the best. And so I appreciate you so much. You are a big part of the success of Dapper Puss. So I really appreciate you just being not only a great and amazing DJ and coworker, but just like an amazing friend as well. So thank you. I appreciate you and I love you. And I'm sad you're leaving me in
I
November,
know.
but it's an excuse to go to Seattle now. So
It's a really pretty city and flights are really cheap.
I love Seattle. I haven't been in like years, so I want to go. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. You have to go stream. I have to go walk some dogs. So thank you so much for everybody who's listening and or watching on YouTube. So please go. I will have the tip information for Miss Coral Reefer if you want to follow her or you can tip her. So please tip this amazing quinceañeras, whatever you want. Honestly, just book her.
She's trying to get into weddings.
Yes, get the
I
wedding.
want to DJ a queer wedding. Bitch, give me a gay wedding. Anyways.
Let's do it. But please, thank you so much for this episode. Please tune in for any updates about new episodes, or if you want to listen to the rest of the season, please go on to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and look up Behind the Kingdom. It's King DOM. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And like we say at the end of all of our episodes, if you're not booking drag kings and things, are you really doing drag? I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you for listening to Behind the Kingdom with Johnny Gentleman. Please do me a favor and follow us on Instagram at Dapperpuss ENT. That's right. DAPPERPUSSENT on Instagram. If you want to follow all of our amazing guests, please do me a favor and go and look at the links on our bio. Look at our websites at dapperpussdk.com. And at the end of the day, if you're not supporting drag kings and things, are you really doing drag? I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.